What if I told you that the reason you're still struggling financially has absolutely nothing to do with your education, your background, or even how hard you work? What if the secret to unlimited wealth has been hidden from you your entire life, buried beneath layers of false beliefs that society programmed into your mind? What if everything you've been taught about money is not just wrong, but deliberately designed to keep you trapped in mediocrity? What if the ancient wisdom that Napoleon Hill discovered but never fully revealed could transform your life in the next 30 days? What if I told you that right now, as you listen to these words, abundance is flowing all around you like an invisible river, and you've been dying of thirst while standing in the middle of it? I need to share something with you that I fought against believing for decades, because it challenged everything. I thought I knew about success and wealth. For years, I lived like most people do, caught in the endless cycle of working harder, staying longer hours, sacrificing my health and relationships, believing that somehow, someday, if I just pushed hard enough, wealth would finally reward my efforts. I was trapped in what Napoleon Hill called the labor illusion, the devastating belief that wealth comes from physical effort alone. But here's what they don't want you to know. Wealth doesn't respond to effort, it responds to energy. Let me paint you a picture that will shatter everything you believe about money. Imagine two people starting identical businesses on the same street, with the same products, the same budget, and the same opportunities. One person works 18-hour days, meticulously planning every detail, analyzing every market trend, and pushing through exhaustion day after day. The other person works fewer hours, but approaches their business from a completely different internal state. They move with calm confidence, make decisions from intuition rather than desperation, and somehow opportunities seem to flow toward them effortlessly. Which person do you think will be more successful? If you're like most people, you'd bet on the hard worker, but you'd be wrong. The universe operates on frequencies, and money is drawn to the person who vibrates at the frequency of abundance, not the one who vibrates at the frequency of struggle. This isn't New Age fantasy. This is ancient wisdom that Napoleon Hill hinted at in Think and Grow Rich, but never fully explained because he knew most people weren't ready to hear it. Hill spent decades studying the wealthiest people of his time, and what he discovered was that they all possessed something that couldn't be measured or quantified. An inner certainty, a vibrational quality that made opportunities magnetize toward them. As the Bible tells us in Matthew 25:29, "For to everyone who has will more be given, and he will have an abundance. But from the one who has not, even what he has will be taken away." The having that Scripture refers to isn't material possession, it's the internal state of abundance consciousness. I lived most of my life as a financial desert wanderer, always chasing the next opportunity, the next strategy, the next breakthrough that would finally deliver me to the promised land of prosperity. I attended seminars, read countless books, followed the advice of every guru who promised to reveal the secrets of wealth. I worked construction jobs that left my hands bleeding and my back aching, believing that honest, hard work was the only path to financial freedom. I calculated every penny, denied myself simple pleasures, and lived in a constant state of financial anxiety, always watching the clock, always worried about tomorrow's bills. But no matter how hard I worked or how many strategies I implemented, I remained trapped in what felt like an invisible prison of limitation. Then something happened that changed everything. I met a woman named Grace, a quiet entrepreneur who ran a small flower shop in my neighborhood. Grace wasn't extraordinary by conventional standards. She had no business degree, no wealthy family background, no special connections or advantages, but there was something different about her presence. When you walked into her shop, you felt immediate peace. Her flowers weren't necessarily more beautiful than those at other shops, but somehow they seemed more alive, more vibrant. customers didn't just buy flowers from Grace. They lingered to talk. They brought their friends. They returned week after week, not just for the products, but for the energy they felt in her presence. One day, I asked Grace about her secret. How did she maintain such consistent success when other flower shops in the area struggled to survive? Her answer stopped me cold. She said, "I don't sell flowers. I sell love. Every morning before I open my shop, I spend time in gratitude for the privilege of bringing beauty into people's lives. I bless every flower, every customer, every transaction. I see myself not as someone trying to make money, but as someone whose purpose is to serve others with joy. The money follows naturally because it's attracted to genuine service that comes from the heart." That conversation shattered my understanding of how wealth really works. Grace had unlocked what Napoleon Hill called the mastermind principle, the ability to align your personal energy with the universal laws of attraction and abundance. She understood that money is not a thing to be chased, but an energy to be attracted through the frequency of your being. Let me tell you about David, a brilliant software engineer who graduated top of his class from MIT and landed a six-figure job at a prestigious tech company. David had everything society told him he needed for financial success: intelligence, education, a high-paying career, and an impressive resume. Yet despite earning more than most people ever will, David lived paycheck to paycheck. He worked 70-hour weeks, constantly stressed about performance reviews and company politics. His apartment was expensive but empty, his bank account impressive on paper but always drained by lifestyle inflation and the need to maintain his image of success. Meanwhile, David's Uber driver, Marcus, a former factory worker with only a high school education, was quietly building a real estate empire. Marcus worked flexible hours, spent time with his family, and radiated a calm confidence that drew people toward him. While David was trapped in what he called the golden handcuffs of corporate success, Marcus was creating true wealth through understanding what Napoleon Hill called the definite chief aim, the power of clear intention aligned with inspired action. Marcus didn't just work for money, he worked with money as a cooperative partner in creating value for others. The difference between David and Marcus wasn't intelligence or education, it was their relationship with abundance itself. David approached money from scarcity consciousness, always afraid of losing what he had, always competing for limited resources. Marcus approached money from abundance consciousness, seeing opportunities everywhere and trusting that by creating genuine value for others, wealth would flow naturally into his life. As Jesus taught in Luke 6:38, "Give, and it will be given to you. Good measure, pressed down, shaken together, running over, will be put into your lap. For with the measure you use, it will be measured back to you." This principle of giving to receive isn't just spiritual wisdom, it's practical economics. When you operate from scarcity consciousness, you hoard resources, build walls, and create resistance to the natural flow of abundance. When you operate from abundance consciousness, you become a conduit for prosperity, allowing wealth to flow through you to others and back to you in multiplied form. Napoleon Hill discovered this principle by studying Andrew Carnegie, John D. Rockefeller, and other titans of industry. He found that they all shared one common trait. They were magnificent givers who understood that wealth multiplies when it moves. I learned this lesson the hard way during the darkest period of my financial journey. I had lost my job, depleted my savings, and was facing eviction from my apartment. In my desperation, I made a decision that seemed completely insane at the time. I took my last $40 and bought groceries for an elderly neighbor who had been struggling to afford food. As I handed her those bags, feeling the weight of my own financial crisis, something shifted inside me. For the first time in months, I felt abundant rather than lacking. I had moved from scarcity consciousness into abundance consciousness through the simple act of giving. Within a week of that experience, opportunities began appearing from unexpected directions. A former colleague called about a freelance project. A forgotten investment matured earlier than expected, and I received a job offer from a company I had never even applied to. Was this coincidence? Napoleon Hill would say no. He understood that the universe operates on the principle of reciprocity. What you give out in consciousness and action comes back to you multiplied. When I gave from my lack, I opened myself to receive from universal abundance. This is why so many people remain trapped in financial struggle despite their best efforts. They're trying to solve an energy problem with effort solutions. They're attempting to attract wealth while broadcasting the frequency of poverty consciousness. It's like trying to tune into your favorite radio station while your receiver is set to the wrong frequency. No matter how loud you turn up the volume, you'll only hear static. You know what amazes me most about sharing these truths? It's seeing the moment when someone finally understands that they have the power to change their financial reality from the inside out. That spark of recognition in their eyes when they realize they've been standing on their own gold mine, searching for treasure in distant lands. If you're feeling that spark right now, if something inside you is saying, "This is what I've been looking for," then I want you to do something that might seem small, but is actually profound. Right now, I want you to take a moment and subscribe to this channel. Not because you have to, not because I'm pressuring you, but because by taking that simple action, you're making a declaration to the universe that you're ready to receive abundance. You're saying, "I believe in my capacity to transform my financial reality." And here's what I've learned about declarations. The universe listens to what you declare through your actions, not just your thoughts. When you subscribe, you're opening yourself to receive more insights that can accelerate your journey to financial freedom. But don't stop there. Share this video with someone you care about who might be struggling financially, not to show off what you've learned, but as an act of service. Remember, abundance multiplies when it moves. Every time you share value with others, you're practicing abundance consciousness. Leave a comment below and tell me about one belief about money that you're ready to release. What story have you been telling yourself about why you can't be wealthy? By writing it down and letting it go, you're creating space for new possibilities to enter your life. These aren't just engagement tactics, they're wealth-building practices disguised as simple actions. Everything is connected, and every action you take either moves you toward abundance or away from it. Choose abundance, starting right now. Let me share with you one of the most profound wealth creation stories ever recorded, hidden in plain sight within the pages of Scripture. It's the account of Solomon's request for wisdom, found in 1 Kings, and it contains a secret about abundance that most people completely miss. When you understand what really happened in this encounter between Solomon and the divine, you'll never look at wealth the same way again. Picture this scene. Solomon, newly crowned as king of Israel, stands at the altar in Gibeon. He's young, overwhelmed by the responsibility of leading an entire nation, and acutely aware of his inexperience. The Lord appears to him in a dream and makes an offer that has echoed through history. "Ask what I shall give you." Imagine being given unlimited access to anything you could possibly want. Wealth, power, fame, conquest over enemies, a long life filled with pleasure. What would you request if you knew with absolute certainty that it would be granted? Here's where Solomon demonstrates the consciousness principle that Napoleon Hill spent his lifetime studying. Instead of asking for material wealth, Solomon made what seemed like an unusual request. "Give your servant an understanding heart to judge your people, that I may discern between good and evil." Solomon asked for wisdom, the ability to serve others effectively, to make decisions that would benefit his people, to align himself with divine principles of justice and truth. But here's the part that reveals the secret of supernatural abundance. Because Solomon's heart was aligned with service rather than selfishness, because he sought wisdom to benefit others rather than riches to benefit himself, The divine response was overwhelming. Because you have asked this, and have not asked for yourself long life or riches or the life of your enemies, but have asked for yourself understanding to discern what is right, behold, I now do according to your word. Behold, I give you a wise and discerning mind, so that none like you has been before you, and none like you shall arise after you. I give you also what you have not asked, riches and honor, so that no other king shall compare with you all your days. Solomon received not only the wisdom he requested, but wealth beyond imagination, wealth that he never directly asked for. This is the abundance consciousness that Napoleon Hill discovered in his study of successful people. When you align your desires with service to others, when you seek first the kingdom of higher principles, all material things are added unto you. As Jesus later taught in Matthew 6:33, but seek first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and all these things will be added to you. The historical records tell us that Solomon became the wealthiest person who ever lived. His annual income in today's currency would be equivalent to several $billion. Kings and queens from around the world traveled thousands of miles just to witness his prosperity and learn from his wisdom. The Queen of Sheba, herself incredibly wealthy, declared that what she had heard about Solomon's riches was nothing compared to what she witnessed firsthand. But here's what's crucial to understand. Solomon's wealth wasn't the goal. It was the byproduct of his consciousness. This story destroys the myth that spiritual people must be poor, that seeking wealth is somehow unholy, or that money is the root of all evil. Solomon's example proves that when your relationship with wealth is rooted in wisdom and service, abundance flows as naturally as water flows downhill. The issue isn't money itself, it's the consciousness from which you pursue it. When you chase money for selfish gain, you create resistance and struggle. When you pursue wisdom for the sake of serving others, money chases you. I experienced this principle personally during a crisis that nearly destroyed my faith in everything. My business had collapsed, I was facing bankruptcy, and I felt completely abandoned by God and the universe. In that dark moment, I made a decision that seemed counterintuitive. Instead of focusing on my financial problems, I began volunteering at a local shelter, helping families who were homeless and desperate. I had nothing material to give, but I could offer encouragement, a listening ear, and whatever wisdom I had gained from my own struggles. Something miraculous began happening. As I focused on serving others, solutions to my own problems started appearing. A lawyer offered to help with my bankruptcy proceedings pro bono. A business mentor emerged from an unexpected connection at the shelter. New opportunities began manifesting that were perfectly aligned with my skills and passion. Within 6 months, I wasn't just back on my feet financially. I was more prosperous than I had ever been, and more importantly, I was fulfilled in a way that money alone could never provide. The Solomon Principle teaches us that the universe rewards consciousness, not cleverness. It responds to the purity of your intention, not the sophistication of your strategy. When Solomon asked for wisdom to serve others, he demonstrated abundance consciousness, the understanding that true wealth comes from contributing value to the world, not from accumulating resources for yourself. This is why Napoleon Hill emphasized that the mastermind principle, surrounding yourself with others and working toward mutual benefit, is essential for lasting success. Solomon didn't rule Israel in isolation. He gathered wise counselors, formed beneficial alliances, and created systems that served the greater good. His wealth was sustainable because it was built on a foundation of wisdom and service, rather than manipulation and greed. The question you must ask yourself is this: what is your true request? Are you asking the universe for wealth so you can consume more, impress others, or feel superior? Or are you asking for the wisdom and opportunity to serve others in a way that creates genuine value? The universe knows the difference and it responds accordingly. When you align your desires with service, When you seek wisdom over wealth, when you prioritize contribution over consumption, you tap into the same abundance consciousness that made Solomon the richest person in history. The wealth follows naturally because it's attracted to wisdom in action, just as light is attracted to the sun. Now that you understand the consciousness principles behind wealth creation, let me show you exactly how to apply this wisdom in your daily life. Napoleon Hill called this the applied faith principle, the ability to transform spiritual understanding into practical results. This isn't about positive thinking or wishful manifestation. It's about becoming the type of person that wealth naturally gravitates toward through specific, deliberate practices. The first transformation must happen in your morning routine. Most people wake up and immediately immerse themselves in scarcity consciousness, checking news that fills them with anxiety, scrolling social media that triggers comparison and envy, or rushing into their day without any intentional alignment with abundance principles. But wealthy people, as Napoleon Hill discovered, begin each day by aligning their consciousness with prosperity before engaging with the external world. Here's what I want you to do tomorrow morning, and every morning thereafter. Before you reach for your phone, before you check email, before you do anything else, spend 5 minutes in what I call abundance alignment. Sit quietly, place your hand on your heart, and ask yourself this question. If I were already living my ideal financial life, how would I feel right now? Don't think about the answer. Feel it. Let that feeling of financial freedom, security, and generous abundance fill your entire being. This isn't fantasy, it's frequency alignment. You're tuning your consciousness to the same vibration that attracts wealth. The second practice involves transforming your relationship with money itself. Most people unconsciously resist wealth because deep down they believe they don't deserve it, or they've been programmed to think that money is evil. Napoleon Hill discovered that successful people have what he called a prosperity partnership with money. They see it not as a scarce resource to be hoarded, but as a cooperative energy that flows through them to create value for others. Start carrying a single bill in your wallet. It doesn't matter if it's a $1 bill or a 20. And throughout the day, touch it and silently say, "Thank you for choosing to flow through my life." Treat that bill as a representative of all money and develop a relationship of gratitude rather than desperation. When you pay for something, don't think "there goes my money," but rather, "I'm participating in the beautiful flow of abundance." This simple shift in consciousness will begin attracting more money into your life because you're no longer creating resistance to its presence. The third practice is what I call value volcano eruptions. Every single day, look for opportunities to add value to someone else's life without expecting anything in return. This could be as simple as genuinely complimenting a stranger, helping an elderly person carry groceries, sharing useful information with a colleague, or sending an encouraging text to a friend. Napoleon Hill observed that all wealthy people are prolific value creators. They're constantly looking for ways to make other people's lives better. But here's the key: don't keep score. Don't give with the expectation of immediate return. Give because you understand that the universe operates on the principle of circulation. What you put out comes back to you multiplied, but often through channels you never expected. As it says in Ecclesiastes 11:1, "Cast your bread upon the waters, for you will find it after many days." The bread returns, but it might come back as cake from a completely different bakery. I learned this principle through a simple act that changed everything. I was struggling to grow my consulting business and feeling frustrated by the lack of clients. One day, I decided to write a comprehensive guide sharing everything I knew about marketing strategies and give it away for free to anyone who wanted it. My scarcity-minded friends thought I was insane. Why would I give away valuable information that I could charge for? Within 2 weeks of releasing that free guide, I received inquiries from 3 potential clients who wanted to hire me specifically because they were impressed by the quality of what I had given away. They reasoned that if my free content was this valuable, my paid services must be extraordinary. That single act of generous value creation led to more revenue in 1 month than I had generated in the previous 6 months of trying to hoard my knowledge and sell it to reluctant buyers. The 4th practice involves what Napoleon Hill called autosuggestion, the deliberate programming of your subconscious mind with wealth-building beliefs. Every night before you fall asleep, repeat this statement with genuine conviction. I am worthy of abundant wealth because I use it to serve others and create value in the world. Don't just recite these words mechanically, feel their truth in your heart. Your subconscious mind is most receptive just before sleep, and whatever beliefs you plant there will influence your decisions, opportunities, and actions the following day. I want to pause here and speak directly to your heart. If you've made it this far in this message, it means you're serious about transforming your financial life. You're not just looking for quick fixes or get-rich-quick schemes. You understand that true wealth begins with inner transformation. That tells me something beautiful about your character and your potential. Right now, I want you to subscribe to this channel if you haven't already. But more importantly, I want you to make a sacred commitment to yourself. In the comments below, I want you to write these exact words. I commit to practicing abundance consciousness every day for the next 30 days. But only write this if you truly mean it, because the universe takes our written commitments seriously. Then I want you to share this video with one person who you believe would benefit from this message. Don't share it to show off what you've learned, but as an act of service, you're giving them access to principles that could transform their life. Remember, wealth multiplies when it moves, and wisdom shared is wisdom increased. Finally, tell me in the comments about one specific way you're going to add value to someone else's life this week. When you declare your intention to serve others, you're activating the same consciousness principle that made Solomon the wealthiest person in history. You're telling the universe that you understand the secret. True wealth comes not from getting, but from giving. And when you give from abundance consciousness, the universe has no choice but to multiply your resources so you can give even more. As we reach the end of our journey together, I want you to understand something profound. You are not the same person who began listening to this message. Simply by opening your mind to these principles, by allowing yourself to consider that wealth might work differently than you've been taught, you've already begun the transformation process. Napoleon Hill called this the burning desire principle, the moment when possibility becomes certainty in your consciousness, when you stop hoping for wealth and start knowing it's inevitable. But knowledge without application is worthless. The principles I've shared with you today, the consciousness alignment, the abundance partnership with money, the value creation mindset, the service-oriented approach to prosperity, these aren't theories to be admired, they're practices to be lived. As James 1:22 reminds us, but be doers of the word and not hearers only, deceiving yourselves. The universe doesn't reward people who know truth, it rewards people who live truth. I think about Solomon, who could have asked for anything but chose wisdom. I think about the countless men and women throughout history who discovered that wealth isn't something you chase. It's something you attract through becoming the type of person that prosperity naturally flows toward. I think about Grace, the flower shop owner, who understood that selling love was more profitable than selling products. I think about Marcus, the Uber driver, who built an empire by seeing opportunities where others saw only obstacles. What do all these people have in common? They understood what I'm about to tell you right now. Your current financial situation is not a reflection of your worth, your intelligence, or your potential. It's simply a reflection of your consciousness up until this moment. And consciousness can be changed in an instant, with a single decision, with one powerful commitment to living differently. Right now, as you listen to these words, abundance is flowing all around you like an invisible river. Opportunities are waiting to be recognized. Resources are preparing to move in your direction. People who could change your life forever are about to cross your path. But none of this will happen automatically. You must become the person who attracts these blessings through the frequency of your being, the quality of your consciousness, and the consistency of your service to others. The choice before you is simple but profound. You can continue living from scarcity consciousness, competing for limited resources, struggling against the current of lack and limitation. Or you can step into abundance consciousness, where wealth flows as naturally as water flows downhill, where opportunities appear everywhere you look, where money becomes your cooperative partner in creating a life of meaning and impact. This choice isn't just about your bank account, it's about the legacy you'll leave, the lives you'll touch, the problems you'll solve with the resources that flow through you. When you align with abundance consciousness, you don't just become wealthy, you become a source of wealth for others. You become part of the solution to poverty, struggle, and lack in this world. As Napoleon Hill understood, true success is measured not by what you accumulate, but by what you contribute. I want to make you a promise. If you apply these principles with consistency and faith, if you align your consciousness with abundance and dedicate yourself to serving others, your financial life will transform in ways that will amaze you. Not because I have some magical power, but because these are universal laws that work for anyone who works with them. They worked for Solomon 3,000 years ago. They worked for Napoleon Hill's students a century ago, and they will work for you today. But I need something from you in return. I need you to believe in your own worthiness of abundance. I need you to release the stories you've been telling yourself about why you can't be wealthy. I need you to stop seeing yourself as a victim of circumstances and start seeing yourself as a creator of possibilities. Most importantly, I need you to understand that you have a responsibility to become wealthy, not for selfish gain, but so you can serve others more effectively, solve bigger problems, and leave this world better than you found it. Here's what I want you to do right now. While this message is fresh in your heart and mind, subscribe to this channel, because we're building a community of people who understand that wealth and service go hand in hand. But more than that, I want you to take out a piece of paper and write down 3 specific actions you're going to take this week to align with abundance consciousness. Maybe it's starting your morning abundance alignment practice. Maybe it's looking for opportunities to add value to others. Maybe it's changing how you think and speak about money. Whatever you choose, make it specific, make it measurable, and make it something you can start immediately. Then in the comments below, share one of these commitments with our community. When you declare your intentions publicly, you're activating what Napoleon Hill called the mastermind principle. You're drawing support and accountability from others who are on the same journey. Finally, I want you to remember this moment. Remember the feeling you have right now, the sense of possibility, the recognition that your life is about to change in beautiful and profound ways. Hold on to this feeling, because there will be days when doubt creeps in, when old patterns try to reassert themselves, when the world tries to pull you back into scarcity consciousness. In those moments, come back to this message. Remember these principles and recommit to the abundance consciousness that is your birthright. You were not born to struggle with money. You were not created to live in lack and limitation. You are a divine being with infinite potential, and wealth is simply one of the many ways the universe can express its abundance through you. The river of prosperity has been flowing past you your entire life. Today is the day you stop dying of thirst and start drinking deeply from the abundance that has always been yours. The secret is no longer hidden. The choice is now yours. Choose abundance, choose service, choose wealth, choose the life you were meant to live.